he's built like a kind of 26-year-old.
Right.
But then, like, obviously, look at him in the face. He's got a little baby face. But he's going to be good, and he's so unassuming as well. The only thing, I did text him after and said, well, like, obviously saying well done, really well done. And I said you should have scored 2, though.
I know.
This is the official Leeds United podcast.
And Matt, you brought a special guest along with you.
I have. Look at that. It's only the best Brazilian of all time.
I've always loved Ronaldinho.
I've got, for those who can't see, which is all the earth, I suspect, it's a life-size cutout of Rafinha behind me.
But I feel like we need to understand where this came from.
Right. Well, I was at the the Premier League Mornings Fan Fest in Los Angeles over the weekend. On behalf of Leeds United, I was out there doing a little bit for NBC. So got to watch the game.
Was it amazing? Tell us what you did.
Yeah, it was wicked. So I mean, it starts at the crack of dawn, really. Well, even before then, because the first game's on at like I think Chelsea game was on at like 4:30 in the morning. So you have to get there, relatively early. Leeds didn't kick off till 7, so I wasn't too bad. But I just got up, came down, sat in the green room. Alan Shearer was there, which is pretty cool.
Did you have a chat with him?
What's he doing over there?
Well, he flew out. Same thing. Premier League flew him out for it, and I was chatting to him about like the Newcastle takeover, and I told him when I was growing up. Everyone's going to hate this. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I told him when I was growing up, so you're one of my favourite strikers, like, and he goes, yeah, no, I appreciate that because I was really gutted when Leeds went down. They cost me 4 goals a season. even now, still giving us stick. Like, been retired bloody 15 years or whatever, still giving us grief. I couldn't believe it. So I broke his fibula, and then we carried on. But no, it was a good day. I went on NBC, chatted about Leeds, and then every team had one of these cutouts, and I managed to. I said, "Can I please, can I take Raf home with me?" And they said, "Yeah."
And how did you get Raf on the plane with you?
Well, it was quite. I was lucky to get him at all, to be honest with you, because he was on day 1. He was the only one that got nicked. Leeds fans took him. And they were chanting, Rafinha, you're coming with us, the whole way. But they managed to get him back, and then he was the only one who had to have security on him for the weekend, was Raf.
Hang on, did they have a life-size Patrick Bamford there?
No, every team had one player, the best player on the team. So we got Raf. So anyway, I got to keep him, and I had to wrap him in bubble wrap, and I took him to the airport under my arm. And I asked the desk if I could check him, and she said, "You're gonna have to go down to security and ask them." So I had to go to security, and they were asking. So everyone's just asking me what the hell it is. I had no idea what it was, I trying to explain to like customs and security in America about a Leeds United football player is hard work. But eventually they appreciated my passion, and they said they would take care of him. And he's come here in one piece, so he's going to go in the Bielsa suite at the pub downtown.
It's a good job they don't have Ryanair over in America, isn't it?
Yeah, right, I know.
Yeah.
Listening on together.
Pat, did you find out who's got the strongest punch in the squad?
Do you know what? To my disappointment, I messaged the physio, Will, this morning, and I said, can you please give me an honest answer about who had the hardest punch? Give me the top 3. And so,
could he not tell you? Was it like doctor-patient confidentiality? He's not allowed to say.
First of all, he said, "Why do you want this?" I said, "Right, well, it's going on the podcast. It's supposed to be like they want to know." He was like, "Okay, fair," and then he didn't reply. Then about an hour later, he said, "What time do you want this by?" And I said, "Well, the podcast is at 2:00, so ideally before 1:30." And at 1:29, he sent a voice note, and it was basically him taking the saying, Adam Forshaw, Luke Ayling, who've barely been on the pads. And I was like, are you going to tell the truth now and give me an honest voice note? And the long and short of it is, no. He's just it's gone down in my estimations.
So even though he's told you Luke Ayling and Adam Forshaw, you're saying that's a joke, that's a laugh.
No, he's actually he must be taking the I feel a bit sorry for them too, because their punches aren't that bad. But
just
yeah, he's taken
absolutely thrown him under the bus there, Pat.
Yeah, he's gone down in my estimations, that's for sure. And
wow. 'I've got a few things that will be getting brought up in the physio room.
I've got a few things that will be getting brought up in the physio room. I've got a few things that will be getting brought up in the physio room. I've got a few things that will be getting brought up in the physio room. I've got a few things that will be getting brought up in the physio room.
Oh,
That's for
I
sure.
feel like we start.
Bring him up here.
Started a war. Yeah, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I have to take him face to face with him first, and then I'll
God,
get him in that. I'll get him in that punching suit.
Okay.
And say, "You're going to give me this voice note next week properly, aren't you?" Give him a bit.
Well, we could also do with getting you back on the pitch. So don't upset him too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
All Leeds, aren't we? The official Leeds United podcast.
It is time to pick our moment of the week with Boost Drinks. Here are you three to pick from, guys. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ralph tweeted us to say his moment of the week is surely going to be Joffy, just his existence, which I think we can all agree with based on the weekend's performance. John's been in touch to suggest Rodrigo. He says the man must be made of pure ice to put that penalty away. Again, very valid point, John. Finally, Steph's been in touch to say, not that I want to revel in it too much, but that camera shot on Sunday where they cut from Fergie looking like thunder to Kenny Dalglish with a huge grin on his face was incredible. Lovely camera work. Again, we can't really disagree with that, can we, boys? Three very, very good points with Boost Drinks. Who are we going for?
I'm going for Joffy.
You're going in at number one, Ralph.
Yeah.
Talking about Joffy. Matt, go on. You look very
that's a
deep
tough one, though, isn't it? That's a real tough one. That's really hard work, that.
Yeah, they're all really good suggestions, so thank you.
I have to just say that the last one, as good as it was, and it was, I am just a little bit concerned that 5-0 loss might cost the manager his job, which would be a terrible shame. And I would very much like to. I think he needs to be given more time. So I don't think that we can possibly have that as our moment of the week. Probably just given to the end of the season. But I think that we're going to have to go with Joffy as well there.
Well, congratulations, Ralph. You have bagged yourself a crate of Boost Drinks thanks to our sponsor, Boost. Now, remember, if you want to win your own stash of Boost Drinks, send us in your moment of the week using the hashtag LUFCPod. And fingers crossed we'll get to LA. Boys, anything that you'd like to add to moment of the week? Anything that's happened in the world of football? Or sport, because Bex decided he was going to open it up to everything. Do you know what, Matt? Your moment of the week can be Leeds getting that equaliser. There we go.
Yes, that's what I would like. Yeah, that was big for
Pat,
me.
anything happened?
Shearer taken over the green room to watch Newcastle, so I had to go sit outside and watch it in the rain.
Does he know who you are, Neville?
I was so frustrated, right? I was like, you're not even doing match of the day tonight, so you don't need to even watch this. I've got a podcast to do at weekend.
Listening on together.
Let's get down to business. Let's talk about the Wolves game. Pretty dramatic, that, wasn't it?
It was very pleasant. I thought we controlled the game, didn't we? Which was nice after the week before. It was a completely different performance from that, which is what I think we all expected, but really is what we wanted. But what a way to nick a point. I mean, should have won it, shouldn't we? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
What do you think, Pat?
For me watching on, it's one of them games where I'm frustrated thinking, I wish I was playing in this.
Right.
But I did feel like it was kind of chalk and cheese from the week before. And
yeah,
I've got to say, I felt like watching it, I felt Rodrigo was brilliant, which was nice to see. I felt like he kind of showed what he can do, which was important. And looking at it from the selfish side of me, I'm buzzing if he's playing like that and he's behind me, then that's brilliant because he was good. And I feel like he kind of helped turn a toss-up between him and the fans in the last half an hour helped change that game.
It was incredible. The noise coming from the stands.
All of a sudden, as soon as the flag started going, I think that just kicked it off, and it just went. It was so loud then, and I knew that we were gonna at least get a point. And then Joffy, I think I mentioned him on the pod a while ago, saying he was like a little Wayne Rooney. Yeah, and he is good. Like he's very good, and he showed there what he can do. So hopefully,
am I right in thinking he's 19, isn't he?
Joffy? Yeah, 19, and he's built like a kind of 26-year-old, right? But then, obviously, look at him in the face; he's got a little baby face. But he's going to be good, and he's so unassuming as well. The only thing I did text him after and said, well, obviously saying well done, really well done, and I said you should have scored 2 though.
I know.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the penalty. Good penalty. Under immense pressure. Obviously, you saw what it meant to Rodrigo.
Yeah.
That we're still trying to find the corner flag, I think. But when you're in the stands and you know, like, we've obviously deserved to win that game, and this is last chance saloon now, we got this penalty. Like, how nervy are you? Are you thinking you'd want to be taking it? Are you thinking, God, I just hope he scores? Are you thinking, yeah, he's got this, no problem? Like, what's going through your head when you're watching Rodstead, that penalty specifically?
To be honest, I thought that we'd score. Like, I never really doubted that he would miss. That would be the kind of penalty I'd enjoy taking. I feel like.
Really?
It's one of them where you can't. You're a hero, really. You've saved the day. But also, if I was in Joffy's shoes, I'd have been dying to take it.
Right.
So if I was Joffy, I know young lad and stuff, but I'd have been asking. I'd have been trying to take it myself. So
do you think he did? Do you think he did ask?
No, he didn't. He was happy, like, letting. I think that was part of the young side of him, just like being like, I'm not got a chance here of taking it. I'll let them do it. So.
You've got to have nerves of steel, though, really. I know you say you would have liked to have taken it, Patrick, but you've got to have nerves of steel when you think about what's riding on it.
Yeah, I think that, well, for me, when I go into a penalty situation, everyone probably has their own kind of method of doing it, but it's shutting out everything, and it's just you as if you were doing it in training. So do exactly the same routine as you would, put the ball down, walk back to wherever you're doing, same run up, everything. Don't change your mind. And then if you're, obviously I've missed a few penalties for Leeds, but I've learned now that if you hit it hard enough and don't change your mind, if a keeper saves it then fair enough, like, he's made a good save. But just make sure that you put everything through it.
We've spoken previously about Bielsa, and after a game, particularly if you've lost, what you have to do in terms of sitting, working through it, looking through it all. Is his style of management, does it remain the same no matter what? Like, this season, has it always been consistent?
Yeah, 100%. And the way that they'll have reviewed that game would have been exactly the same way in which they reviewed the Southampton game. So every game's the same no matter what, because even if we end up winning a game 3-0, there's always negatives, or not so much negatives, but things that you can improve on and do better. And so it's always like, it's more about learning than kind of picking apart and picking the faults. It's learning what we can do better for next time.
Does he ever, because I know he's always very philosophical about results, whether we win or we lose. But, throughout his tenure, we've had some games where we've been bloody unlucky, where we've dominated, like that Wolves game, or even more so, and we've ended up losing to 2 shots on target, 2 goals, we lose 2-0, and possession's like 80% us. We've had a few games like that where the football gods have just, whatever, it's gone wrong. Does he have frustration about those games, or is he just really philosophical, like, well, that's football? Like, how do you ever see a bit of humanity in him ever?
I think there will be frustration. It's never, in terms of when we do analyse the game, it's never like it's just football. There's always a reason behind why something's happened and why something hasn't. And generally, when there's been games where we might have lost, or we've come off and we've drawn, but we should have won, and they've like say it happened in reverse, that we were beating Wolves 1-0, battering them all game, and then they nicked a goal at the end. Right. After the game, he would just come in and say, "You've done all you can," like, and kind of pat everyone on the back. Like, nothing really gets analysed straight after the game. It's more in the week after, and then it kind of breaks down what we didn't do, what we should have done, and what we did do.
And does that help as a manager to have that? Because if it was me in that situation, and it has been a few times, I'm so annoyed. I'm just like, can't even talk to anyone. I'm miserable. I'm annoyed. But obviously, as a manager, you can't do that. So does it help you lot? Because you guys are probably frustrated as you've controlled the game. Is it nice to have kind of a calming element to come in and just say, "Hey, look, that's football. You did everything."
Yeah, because I think if you did come in, and obviously the lads are frustrated and kind of tempers would be high, but lads would just be sat down kind of disappointed and almost furious of what's happened. If then a manager came in and started just laying into people and dishing it out, you'd probably see a lot more like clashes in the changing room, and people would just say things that kind of in the heat of the moment that they don't actually mean, and that wouldn't really like sit well with anyone. So I think the fact that he does keep things calm, and he makes sure that everything is done in kind of the right way, it helps a lot. And it for me, it just stops any kind of stupidness that can go on at some changing rooms.
And vice versa, because one of my favorite things is when we win either an important game or we get a goal that we've deserved and we didn't know if it was coming or not, and you see his passion, because he is so often so, he keeps it in, and when he can't and he's on the touchline and he suddenly explodes with happiness at a goal and a celebration, I love seeing that so much. What about you guys? Like when Rodrigo scored that penalty, how did you guys all go in the stands? Were you all going wild?
Yeah, nuts. Obviously, we don't hold back probably as much as him, but it's hard. I don't know how he does it, because if I was a manager and that happened, even if it was to draw 1-1, I think I'd do a Mourinho and be off down the touchline.
This is the official Leeds United podcast.